All this Extreme Festival of Motorsport action is proudly brought to you by Investchem Chemical Logistics. Welcome to the double header of Formula 1600. So we're going to be catching up with action from the East London Grand Prix Circuit and Red Star Raceway. And we kick things off here at the East London Grand Prix Circuit for this round of Formula 1600s. It's been an incredible season so far, and a couple of youngsters have started to make their way to the front end of the field. Let's catch up with one of them down in pit lane now and see what Josh LaRue's plans are for the weekend.
Josh, a fantastic qualifying, second on the grid, and it's your first time here at the East London Motorsport Circuit.
I really did not expect this coming into the weekend. I mean, it's my first time here, and usually I struggle a bit with learning new tracks, and I'm really happy with my qualifying results.
Best qualifying there from Josh LaRue on the front row. Andrew Rackstraw going to get a little bit of help there from Robert Volk. Not a bad man to get some advice from here at what would have been his home circuit previously. Josh LaRue we go on board with. Watch for those lights to go on and off. It's a good start from LaRue. Or no, not such a good start. Not such a good start at all. He bogs down to third gear. Wow, look at the start from Jared Roberski though. Around the outside of Rackstraw and heads into turn one. Potter's Pass in the lead. LaRue has just dropped right to the back of the field. They've been ticked up by every single driver bar one as they go down into Potter's Pass. Around the outside, you can see Holtzhausen trying to keep him honest, and behind that's Van Wheelie. But you can see Josh LaRue. I think Van Wheelie got caught behind Josh LaRue. That's why he's dropped so far back as well. But LaRue getting an absolute nightmare of a start. Roberski getting the best start in the house as he heads down towards Cochabana for the first time. Around the outside comes Rackstraw. There's no room out there. I thought so. Rackstraw a little bit too eager on the brakes, and maybe those cold tyres not quite getting the grip it needed. He goes onto the dirty stuff, and so does Holtzhausen. He comes back on track. Andrew Rackstraw very lucky to survive that one as they come through. Oh, and even luckier to avoid Holtzhausen as he goes flying past him and into the other side of the circuit. Evan Holtzhausen is having an absolute nightmare start to this one. He's going to get back on track, but he's dropped right to the back of the field and has lost the entire beat straight from that field. So it's Roberski who leads out. Voss in second. Right on his tail, Antoine Geldenhuys, and behind that you can see them all lining up. Absolutely. In fact, it's Schofield in second. Schofield up into second place. I only saw the pink livery of the Sapphire car there into second place. So Andrew Schofield ahead of Antoine. Then it's Alex Voss. And then, of course, we've got Gerard Geldenhuys. What an incredible start to this one. Didn't quite expect that, but Jared Roberski is disappearing at the front end. He is holding nothing back here and wants to try and open up a margin that he can control. As they go up into Beacon Corner. Oh, there's a tag! Voss comes onto the back end of Geldenhuys and he knocks off the wing. By the looks of things, a little bit of damage there to Voss's car, possibly to the back end of Antoine Geldenhuys' car as well as they cross the line. Let's see if that affects these cars in any way, because remember, these got wings and slicks, and those wings are there for a reason. This is Rackstraw's point of view going down into Cochabana. As I said, just ran out of time, ran out of track and out of traction. And those Avon tyres, unfortunately, didn't quite come into plan into the first of the very serious right-handers. There's two very serious ones behind it, but they're high-speed ones. And, of course, there on the braking, he just got it all wrong. Very lucky to avoid the spinning Holtzhausen as he came back on track as well. But they are both back on circuit, but a lot of work to do now for the championship leader. Let's see where he's going to finish up at the end of this one. Geldenhuys continues the battle. He's moved through on the Sapphire car of Andrew Schofield. And Schofield at this point in time having a little bit of fun and games and trying to fend off both Alex Voss and Gerard Geldenhuys. He's got a problem. Sapphire car slows and the hand goes up there. Whoa, what a pity. Andrew Schofield's having such a good start to this one. It looks like it's all gone AWI here. Hasn't quite gone according to plan, that is for sure. As they come across to complete another lap, the Sapphire car pulls into pit lane. Hope we can get that car sorted out for race number 2 later on in the afternoon. But that is it, done and dusted there for Andrew Schofield. As they come across the line there, Brendan Tracy just coming up to follow up. This is Schofield's point of view as he went through the sweep. He comes up on the sweep, you see him go for the gear change and there's just nothing there. Absolutely nothing. A box of nothing, puts his hand up and tells the drivers behind him that he's out. And they all go flying past on his outside and continue the battle at the front end. You can see just how despondent he is as he's climbed out the car going, what just went wrong there? Everything was looking good. Roberski's looking phenomenal at this point in time. Ahead of Antoine, then Voss, then Gerard Geldenhuys. Van Wheelie in the background. Oh, a little wheel on the dirt there from Van Wheelie, but look where Rackstraw's got to. Rackstraw has recovered. Possibly going to be finishing up in the top 6 there. That's not too bad considering he is the championship leader. It's not really going to affect his lead in this championship, but it is going to lose him valuable points. He could have tried to wrap things up here potentially here today with 2 victories and some fast laps in hand. But that's not going to happen. 1 lap to go. Gerard Geldenhuys pushing hard in the Abacus Divisions racing machine. Let's have a look at this as he goes through Potters. Oh, lovely. Absolutely everything she's got. Maybe a little confidence lift there, but other than that, it looked like it was pretty much flat out through there. Using those wings and slicks on the Formula 1600s to very good use. Out front, though, the DAW machine of Weberski has not been troubled. He literally got off the line and cut through the field like the hot knife through butter. In fact, using the outside of the circuit as well and a bit of grass to get through on the field. But he got there and made a stick, and he has not been bettered since. Is there going to be a possible change up there between Andrew Rackstraw and Van Wheelie into the closing stages? We're coming to the checkered flag, remember. Werberski's done it all right. He's got a decent margin over everybody else, and Werberski's going to absolutely eat this field up. Have a look and see how busy it is inside the cockpit. There goes the gear change, back on the wheel. Another gear change. Back on the wheel. It's quite bumpy, the circuit, as you can see, so you're having to hang on to that wheel and hang on to the car so it doesn't step out. Watch out for birdies coming across the track as well at the same time. And then down the gearbox into second, up into Beacon for the final time. And Werberski is going to take another victory here in the Formula 1600s. Brilliant effort here from this young man. Certainly a big star of the future. There is no doubt about it. As he crosses the line for a victory here in East London, he's going to be a happy man. He's going to come through there to beat out Gildenhuys, to beat out Voss, and to beat out Gerard Gildenhuys. Antoine and Gerard sharing just outside the top of the podium there. And brilliant effort there from Werberski to take it. Let's have a look at the official results. Werberski from Gildenhuys, from Voss, Gerard Gildenhuys there in fourth. And then it's Nicholas Van Wheelie, Rackstraw, Ewan Holtzhausen, and Brendan Tracy. Good recovery there from Andrew Rackstraw. Join us off the break to see if we get another victory out of Jared Werberski. Welcome back to the East London Grand Prix circuit. Absolutely ideal conditions to go racing in here today. A nice cool breeze blowing in, not too strong the wind. And some final adjustments now and a couple of tweaks to these cars to get them ready now for heat number 2. Werberski looking at the data. That's Garth Werberski looking at his son's data going, okay, well, we've taken a victory. Can we get a second one? We'll have to wait and see. The first victory is always a sweet one. And they usually come thick and fast straight after you've taken that first one. Aaron Mew there, the voice of Formula 1600, having a quick chat to Claudio Piazzamussa to see what his plans are to get Rackstraw possibly to take a victory. You can see, unfortunately, the front row is stricken by only one car, and Josh LaRue has not been able to make it back on circuit, having a bit of a problem in the first heat. Schofield is back, though. That's good to see. And he goes down to Potters, watching those mirrors, and looks like he's going to be in about 4th place as they get into Potters Pass for the first time. He slots up just ahead of Gildenhuys and Gildenhuys squared as they go down towards Rifle. Right on the Gildenhuys' tail comes Van Wheelie, behind that Holtzhausen. And you've got Brendan Tracy in the background. Antoine Gildenhuys going late on the brakes here, try and find a way through. In fact, as he comes through Rifle, look at how tight it is there through Rifle. Around his outside, you saw Van Wheelie go. Van Wheelie goes on the inside of his brother. Here comes Holtzhausen. I don't know where. We saw how Holtzhausen got this wrong in the first time in race 1, but this time he makes it stick. Wow, what did Evan Holtzhausen have for lunch? Because it certainly worked out. He's pushed through to about 4 positions there from that maneuver and absolutely eaten up the field. There goes Gerard Gildenhuys defending on Van Wheelie as they head toward gate corner. See if he's able to hang on to that inside line. It is Rackstraw who leads out over Werberski, race 1 winner. Voss ahead of Schofield. Man, he had a little bit of issues there in the first heat. Then you've got Antoine Gildenhuys, Evan Holtzhausen, and Gerard Gildenhuys right on their tail. And in fact, this whole pack hasn't really spread out just yet. They're still right within each other's grasps. The magnificent paint and hardware car there, Van Wheelie, trying to find a way through on the 2 youngsters ahead of him. Evan Holtzhausen going defensive, keeping out Gerard Gildenhuys. The 2 of them having to go defensive to keep out Van Wheelie. Van Wheelie's going to try and pan out to the right-hand side. Little late maneuver there from Schofield to dive through too. Gildenhuys hangs on, gets ahead of Holtzhausen. So Gerard Gildenhuys just defending that line and getting through Beacon just ahead of Evan Holtzhausen as they start another lap. Rackstraw starting to pull away. Werberski in second. Great little drive here from Jared Werberski, looking possibly for a top overall finish in this class. Let's have a look at this from Nicholas Van Wheelie's point of view. Watch out on the right-hand side as they come down under braking for that maneuver. Wow! Evan Holtzhausen was so late on the brakes it caught both the Gildenhuys and Van Wheelie out. This is Antoine's point of view, the same maneuver. This is just superb driving. Remember the first time it didn't work. He dived up the inside, ended up on the grass, and then cut across and ended up next to the house there. So very lucky to make that one stick. Now he's trying another maneuver. Trying to get through there on Gerard Gildenhuys and on Antoine. Schofield puts his hand up again. Oh no. Andrew Schofield having an absolute nightmare here this weekend in East London. Didn't quite work out in the first one, and it hasn't worked out in the second one. There's a bit of an issue on that car, and I'm sure he'll get it sorted out before we get to Red Star Raceway. So Werberski in second. Third place is Voss, all on his own sim. Then it's Antoine Gildenhuys, a little wide. Ooh, Van Wheelie running, Holtzhausen wide onto the grass. He'll come back onto the black stuff just ahead of the avoiding Gerard Gildenhuys. Very lucky to avoid that car coming back on track. In fact, that was Schofield who avoided him. So very similar livery on those cars, and apologies for that one, but you can see, oh, there you go. I was about to say, maybe there'll be a little bit of a return of the investment or some karma, and there was. Coming out of the left-hander, looks like, let's have a look at it. This is Van Wheelie's point of view. Let's see exactly what went wrong. I think he might have just put a wheel on the dirty stuff here. No, in fact, no, he just climbs on the loud pedal a little bit too quickly. and it loops out, and he goes onto the inside of the kart circuit. Gets going again, back on track, but drops right to the back of the field. So a big mistake there from Nicholas Van Wheelie. Right, as we're heading to the closing stages, that is the battle for third place now. Gerard Gildenhuis on the back end of Voss, trying to find a way through here. Can he go around the outside of Potters? You need some big cojones to make that kind of maneuver. And you can see Alex Voss is going to try and keep him honest in the Curie Zoo car. He's on the inside, he's got the advantage. But that doesn't help when you've got a guy driving around the outside of you and not showing any respect or fear. And he dives through into third place, going around the outside of Potters Pass. Well, if there's ever going to be a Balls for Potters award for today, that might have been the one. Brilliant stuff there from Gildenhuis to go around the outside of Voss and move up one position. So he's got it all right. Let's see if we can keep it all together now as they go into the closing stages here. It is the top three on the beach straight. A little bit further back there, fourth place is Voss. He lost out after that incredible maneuver. And behind him comes Gerard Gildenhuis. So Antoine and Gerard, the two parts of the sandwich there, with the meat in the middle being Alex Voss. But no one is going to catch this man. Not in the second heat, and not after he made that small mistake in the first one. We're doing a little chat, I'm sure, by Claudio Piazzamusa and from the Race Driver SA team to say, listen, we've got to calm things down. Let's just get the battles done. Let's get those race wins in the bag, and let's get this championship wrapped up. If he finishes up where he is right now, there's a very good possibility that he could possibly wrap the championship up at the next round at Red Star Raceway. We'll have to wait and see. But he heads to the checkered flag, and this is going to be the second victory of the weekend going to Andrew Rackstraw. The first one went to Roberski for these heats. Second one goes to Rackstraw, and he maintains his lead in this championship. He's a much happier man in first than he is down in sixth place. That is for sure. Roberski in second, and it's going to be Antoine Gildenhuis for third place. And the top three steps of the podium filled up. Voss comes through for fourth, and Andy Rackstraw will be happy with that performance. Much better than his first one, that is for sure. There is official results. Roberski ahead of Gildenhuis, Voss, Gildenhuis, Holtzhausen, Van Wheelie and Schofield, with Brendan Tracy down in ninth. Leren's waiting with Andrew Rackstraw down in pit lane.
A much better race too for you. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much. Yeah, Friday we struggled a lot. Hendrik and the whole team did a lot of homework to get the car sorted. And yeah, we just used our experience and we put on pole in qualifying, which we were ecstatic about, more points. And yeah, the first race didn't go as planned, just a bit of a racing incident, but that's racing. And yeah, it makes it exciting. And race 2 we came back and showed them how it's done. And yeah, just looking forward to the next race, and just have to say a massive thanks to the whole team and everyone supporting me. Couldn't do it without you.
Well, let's see if we can do it now at Red Star Raceway as we head into the next round. Almost instantaneously we go from the Eastern Cape up to Mpumalanga. And yes, there's Leren was here. She actually got knocked over in that interview earlier on, and we wish her a speedy recovery. She was back at Red Star to do all the live duties and came and joined another lady, Thea van der Laan, joining us for the first time in Formula 1600s. But the battle is on here for this championship. We've got the Kent class in the background. Rackstraw's got to do it all today. 2 victories will seal the deal. Line up on the grid, ready to go. Rackstraw's already put it on pole position ahead of Roberski. Nice front row there from the two of them. Holtzhausen goes alongside, and it's Josh LaRue who returns in 4th place. Good start coming out of Van Wheelie as we go on board with him down towards turn 1. He moves himself up into 5th place as they go in there. No, he doesn't. He gets outgunned ever so slightly by Gildenhuis as they go into that first chicane, and he has to tuck in behind and actually in between both of the Gildenhuis boys. Antoine ahead of Gerard with Van Wheelie in between the two of them. Then it's Voss. Behind that, the Kent cars come flying through. Looks like a bit of a fight on there, big time between, it's going to be Graham Hepburn fighting it hard with Ian Schofield in the Kent category. Gildenhuis trying to go around the outside of an off-camber downhill left-hander, not an easy thing to do. In fact, makes a small mistake and almost allows Van Wheelie through. Van Wheelie just very lucky to avoid his nose being cut off there. I think Gildenhuis only saw him in the last couple of seconds to stop that happening. Roberski on a big move through the field too. Didn't quite get the start he wanted. He's got ahead of Van Wheelie now. Van Wheelie with the yellow nose cone. It actually could have been Roberski that we were looking at there. In fact, I think it might have been as they go through the dog bone. Up towards a very tricky turn 6. It's a hairpin corner for these single-seaters and not easy to turn through here. They drop down to first gear, and then it's everything she's got through the gearbox up that little short straight. Schofield ahead there. Good start from him as he goes through ahead of Graham Hepburn, and then it's Ronald Van Wheelie behind that. Ooh, getting out of shape. The 57 car, that is the LT. Lieutenant Colonel getting out of shape there just ahead of I think that was Dean Fenter who was on his tail at that point in time. Here you can see, he actually got a tag. He went straight onto the back end of the car. And unfortunately, with that tag, drops him right out of contention and allows the rest of the field through. There's a fight on Josh LaRue on the inside of Holtzhausen. Having a big look to see if he can squeeze through, and he does. So that's a way to get through in a single-seater. Just outgun your component and compatriot as you go into turn 4. As you go through there, it's the inside line. Holtzhausen demoted down one position. LaRue, very lucky there. Almost got tagged on the back end of his gearbox. But the nose cone just avoiding there. Here comes Jared Ruberski along for the ride as well. Ruberski wants through. He wants to get up back into the top three. He's had a win in East London and he's had a second place in East London. He definitely wants to be on the top steps of the podium if possible here at Red Star Raceway and stay in the hunt for second place in this championship. A big fight on here. He dives on the inside. Oh, the door's opened up. Evan Holtzhausen opened up that door and Ruberski said, thank you very much. I'll take that every day of the week. He tries to come back at him. They are going to go side by side as they head to the top of the hill. Brilliant stuff here from Ruberski. He has absolutely everything she's got. Watch for the gear change. And as they come under braking now for the triple right-hander, he's on the inside. Holtzhausen's gone around his outside. Oh, there's a tag. I didn't think it was going to make that stick. Yeah, there was a little bit of late braking from Ruberski. He went right up the inside, very late on the brakes. And Holtzhausen turned in on his normal line and unfortunately got tagged there by Jared Ruberski. Let's have a look at it. There's the tag. He goes flying to the left-hand side onto the grass and out of contention, possibly with some broken wheels there as well. Ruberski just going inside, tagging Holtzhausen. That was his point of view that we looked at there. 3 reverse angles. Here's the fourth one. This is Antoine Gildenhuys's point of view. Watch for the tag there from Ruberski. Holtzhausen turns in on him. There's nowhere to go, and the two of them end up going wide and out of contention. That's allowed both Gerard and Antoine Gildenhuys through. The battle continues down in the Kent category, but there's a change up for the lead. Hepburn's at the front ahead of Schofield. Schofield going to try and come back at Hepburn. Nice little fight here between these two guys. Lovely little battle in the Kent category as well. But superb driving from these two boys. The Gildenhuys boys are going at it big time. And right on the tailpiece there of Jared Ruberski. Ruberski going to try and come through now on Antoine. He's got good drive. Let's see if he's good enough on the brakes. LaRue is in second place. This is for third. As they come down onto the breakers there for turn 3. Is it going to be good enough there for Ruberski? No, it's not. The 7 car of Antoine Gildenhuys hangs on for now. Ruberski's on his tail, looking for a way through. Can't find it just yet. But he's definitely applying the pressure. He's seen on a numerous occasion where there are opportunities to pass here at Red Star Raceway. There's not a lot of them. But if he can just get his wheels in, like Gerard is about to do, he could make it stick. Oh, and he forces Ruberski wide. That opens up the door. Can he get through? He forces him ever so slightly even more wide. And there you have it. Gildenhuys is now the squared 1 and 2 on track in terms of that position. And for the break-up there, of course, for the third place. Here comes a problem. Nicholas Van Wheelie peeling into pit lane. That is definitely not the way he wanted to finish up this first heat at Red Star Raceway, in the pit lane. This is definitely the way that he wanted to, though. Race driver SA, Investchem and RI sponsored machine of Andrew Rackstraw looking to place one hand on the championship trophy at the end of this one. He's literally got to go 7th place or better in the second heat to get the championship wrapped up and become the first circuit racing champion for South Africa in 2021. This first race victory has done a lot of good and a lot of confidence there for him as well. Race victory going to go to Graham Hepburn in the Kent class as well, by the looks of things. He's going to hang on just to keep Schofield honest. To the line. It's very honest between the two of them. Look how tight it is. About half a second across the line there between the two of them. Looking forward now to race number 2. Rackstraw, LaRue, Gildenhuys ahead of Holtzhausen. And it's Hepburn, Schofield, Venter, Foss and Van Wheelie in the Kent class for the first race for today.
Even a fantastic start in race 1. It ended in a very disappointing, frustrating 6th place. Take us through it.
Yeah, no, look here, it was on about lap 3. Jared Ruberski overtook me on turn 8, and then I made a move on turn 9 to pass him again. And then we went through turn 9. I felt like I was in front on the race line. And then all of a sudden I just felt myself in the air and then off the track. But luckily I managed to come back on track and made up a couple of places to into 6th position. So I'm grateful, therefore I'll come back stronger in the second race.
Graham, congratulations. First race win of the season here at Red Star. What a place to do it.
Yeah, thank you. Quite a long race, 10 laps. Interesting circuit, lots of corners. So, I'll take a win anyway, but especially here, it was rewarding.
Ian certainly didn't make it easy for you, though.
No, he's very quick. So I took my time. It was 10 laps, and I took my time, and I battled to hang on to him in the beginning, and then I managed to catch up back up to him. And then I was just waiting for a mistake, and he made a mistake down the bottom of the straight, and I shoved it up the inside, and I managed to hold on for the next 3 laps.
Welcome back to Red Star. Investchem Formula 1600s are here for their penultimate round of the championship. And there's a possibility that we may see the championship wrapped up here after this next race. A couple of tweaks here and there for a couple of cars that are still in the fight for second place. But if Andrew Rackstraw goes ahead and does 7th place or better here in the second heat, the championship is done. As he climbs on board for the last time to possibly wrap this up, let's see what he can do from pole position. Alongside him, Woberski. LaRue is behind that, and Holtzhausen alongside. And you can see Holtzhausen will definitely look to change his luck after being tagged by Jared Woberski in the first heat. Let's see what happens now as they head down towards turn number 1. On board with Tara van der Laan. First time out for her in a Formula 1600. Great to see that young lady stepping up into this category after a little bit of a break in proceedings to wait till she gets to the right age. But she's now at the right age and she can go and fight it out with the boys. And she's loving life here in Formula 1600s. It's great to have a young lady involved in this category once again. A whole bunch of very famous South African drivers have come through this field, particularly in the ladies' side of things. And women in motorsport certainly looking good here in single-seaters with Tara van der Laan. Nice move there from Josh LaRue, squeezing out Gildenace, and he just gets up behind the hard-charging Woberski. Gildenaces are side by side as they head into the dog bone. This time out, though, it's Gerard who gets the advantage over Antoine. Not a lot of times that's happened this season, but particularly over the last 4 rounds, Antoine has been the more dominant of the two. But Gerard has now found his way through. Let's see what he's able to do about those cars up the road from him. There's 4 of them. One of them, of course, is Woberski, an arch rival. LaRue is there as well, and the 2 of them trying to close things down there on Holtzhausen. Let's see if there's going to be more antics here between Holtzhausen and Woberski as they get onto that short straight. We saw a big tag between the 2 of them under braking. We're on board with Josh LaRue. We go now to the top end of the circuit as they head up that hill. It doesn't look like it's a big hill, but if you go and ride the circuit on a bicycle or walk it, you'll definitely know there is a little bit of elevation, even though it looks very flat here at Red Star Raceway. 2 Gildenaces, they are in their own little fight, and on their tail comes Van Wheelie. He sorted that car out now after some issues in race number 1. Hopefully we'll be able to get through on these 2 boys and get to the front. Oh, and if they do that, he will. Certainly, Gerard Gildenace running wide. Antoine going to try and go around the outside into turn 10 and 11. And he's made it stick relatively easily. And he pulls some more dirt onto the circuit. Oh, no. That's not the way you want to be driving a single-seater around here. Any off-track excursions can be exceptionally dangerous, not only for breakages on the car, but of course for lack of traction and loss of traction on those Avon tyres. And I think we may even see Van Wheelie give him a run for his money as they go down towards turn 1. Across the line, another lap completed. Holtzhausen in second, Woberski's third, LaRue is 4. Behind that is Gildenace and Gildenace. In fact, look at that. Van Wheelie's dropped back a little bit there, so maybe he's picked up a similar issue to what he had in the first heat. I thought he might try and capitalize on that mistake. 2 mistakes, almost back-to-back. Make that 3 mistakes. What is going on with Gerard Gildenace? There's definitely an issue on that car. It's not turning. And as he goes straight across the chicane, there's definitely some kind of a problem that they're going to have to be very wary of in that team and see whether or not they can get it sorted out. They can't really do it in the 10 laps of race action, but there's certainly a problem that is affecting him big time. Look at Gerard. He goes into the chicane. It just can't turn the car. He goes straight across the dirty stuff and onto that very bumpy outfield, and that can be very dangerous, as I said, in terms of breakages and, of course, the loss of traction on the wheels. He got back on track, though, and let's see if he's able to do anything about those boys up front. Moving back to the Kent category. And this time out, it's Schofield, who's got about 4 car lengths over second place. And he's going to try and hang on to that advantage on Hepburn. Hepburn in second hasn't really had an answer here in this second heat of racing to see whether or not he can change things up here between himself and the man who, of course, is behind single-seater racing in a big way here in South Africa. Ooh! So not only Gildenace with some problems, look at that, a little wheel twitch there as he put the wheel on the dirty stuff, and Van Wheelie got out of shape. Tara van der Laan would have seen that and gone, shoo, okay, that's what can happen if you get these cars wrong. She's going to be learning every single lap she gets behind a race car. And Alex Voss is not a bad man to follow around. He's had a couple of experiences of note in single-seaters. So a great effort here from her. She's going to be in the top 10 overall, which is brilliant for a first time out. Definitely a future fan here in the commentary box, but definitely a future star to watch out for out on track as well. Van der Laan doing such a great job. But this man has done it all right. And it looks like this championship could be wrapped up here today at Red Star Raceway with only a couple of corners to go. The race driver, SA, Investchem and RI team are going to be exceptionally happy. Claudio Piazzamusa, take my hat off, bud. Done an amazing job with this young man. He certainly has stepped up from his rookie season into a championship winning season here in 2021. And definitely a man to watch out for in the future of motorsport in South Africa. Remember, he now goes on with 250,000 Rand in his back pocket. He gets a test in a global touring car. He gets a test in a Formula Renault. And where is this young man going to go and take the flag to fly it high for South Africa? Congratulations there to Andrew Rackstraw after an incredible season. He wins out race number 2 and takes the 2021 championship. Second place is up for grabs here. It's Hepburn's. He hasn't got anybody even close to him. But unfortunately, Graham Hepburn was not able to stay with Ian Schofield here in the second heat. And I think with his margin, Schofield might even get the overall victory on the day because he's slightly ahead of where Graham Hepburn was when they crossed the line in the first heat. Schofield takes the win, and it's Hepburn in second place. Andrew Rackstraw, take a bow, young man. Championship is yours with a round to go. Let's have a look at the results. Rackstraw ahead of Holtzhausen, Werberski, LaRue and Gelderhuys. That's your top 5 in the top class, and it's Schofield, Hepburn, Van Wheelie, Voss and Venter in the Kent category.
Antoine and Gerard, fantastic racing this weekend between both brothers. Now, I know there's no rules in this family when it comes to who gets in front, correct?
Yeah, now the guy who qualifies first and stays first in the race is going to be the one who leads to the checkered flag.
Gerard, you've had a couple of times where you were ahead of your brother and he stuck his nose in and gently squeezed his way through.
No, it's a tricky situation, but we try and keep our distance and not make contact. It's double the repairs you need to do, and it's not worth it.
Andrew, congratulations, South African single-seater champion for 2021 in the Formula 1600 class.
Yeah, it feels awesome. I don't think it's sunk in fully yet. Yeah, this whole year has been absolutely incredible. We've put in such hard work, the team and I, and yeah, we finally got it to work. I mean, I remember the first day we were in 1600 and I said I wanted to be champion, and we finally are. So I'm over the moon, and yeah, just thanks to all the whole team and yeah, all the sponsors and everyone supporting me around the country. So thank you.
Championship is wrapped up by Rackstraw at Red Star Raceway. We head to Swartkops with Werberski still in a fight with Josh LaRue. Josh LaRue, in fact, with a bigger fight with Van Wheelie, Voss and Ewan Holtzhausen. That's how things are going to go down at Swartkops. We can't wait to bring you all that action for Investchem Formula 1600s. All this extreme festival of motorsport action is proudly brought to you by Investchem Chemical Logistics.